Happy to have Shaka Smart, new UT men's head basketball coach, in studio with us. All right, it's been roughly 40 days on the 40 acres for you. How immersed have you been in just getting your teeth into this job?
Well, that's how you have to be. You got to jump right into it. And, you know, we knew coming down here that the biggest priority was the current players, spending time with those guys, developing a relationship with them, making sure that they're able to finish the semester strong. We're just at the tail end of exams right now. And then the recruiting piece of it obviously is big. And we've hit the ground running with that in terms of getting out and seeing some of the best players in the area and even outside of the area. Then the last thing would probably be assembling a staff. You know, that was really important, and we've got some really good coaches here and getting them organized on what we need to do.
You touched on a couple things. The current players. You did something right. Isaiah Taylor is sticking around, and he seemed to be impressed with your not only ability to just hang with the guys, but the connection that you made so quickly. How did that happen? Was it pretty natural for you?
Well, first thing is, you know, I wanted Isaiah to do the best thing for him and his future. I think it's easy as a new coach to come in and just expect someone or want someone to do what's best for your team or yourself. But, you know, these are important decisions that these young men make. And for him, we're excited that he decided to come back. I think he can certainly be a huge, huge part of our team and do some terrific things moving forward. With he and all the other guys on the team, I've just tried to spend a lot of time around them, as has the rest of our staff, and let them know that you're a whole person. You're not just a basketball player. There's a lot of other things to you. Certainly there's the academic component, which is so important, and they've done a really good job responding.
Yeah, and then you talked about the recruiting. On the surface, UT has a strong brand. Shaka Smart has a strong name recognition. Putting the two together, have you found that you got a little street cred as you're going out there and recruiting guys?
Well, I think we definitely have been able to get some people's attention, and we've been able to get involved with some really good recruits. You know, we'll see what happens down the road here. It's still really early in the game for the class of 2016, the rising seniors. But again, it's important for us to get out there and develop relationships. We're new in the state. We want to meet all the coaches. We want to meet all the people around these young men. And I think as we do that, that will make recruiting go easier and easier.
For what the run VCU and yourself made in that Final Four year, it wasn't only an incredible run. People got to know you with that beautiful video of you doing the, I guess, the Ironman drill, taking the charge, going. How much, I guess, do people feel like they relate to you? And more importantly, do your players feel like, okay, you're 38, just turned 38. You're at that age where you're very accomplished at what you're doing, but yet you're young enough to still relate, right?
Well, you know, it's a job where it requires a lot of energy. Yeah. And, you know, the one thing that I really feel like is an advantage of mine or any young coach is you have a little more energy. You have more enthusiasm. You know, you're able to work long hours, and that's part of what goes into it. But I love it. I mean, that's a huge part of the job. The thing about March in college basketball is it goes from being a popular sport during the year to an extremely popular sport, and that everyone follows. And as you mentioned, people, fans, whether they're hardcore fans or casual fans, they get to know the players and coaches in March. And that's one of the great things about being able to stick around for a while in the tournament. Yeah.
Tell me, you're either have already done that drill with the guys or you plan on doing it with your horns?
They've done the drill. I haven't done it like I did in Houston, but we've done it. We've done the drill with the guys, and they responded pretty well.
That's cool. And then it's not only that. That wasn't a one-time deal. You know, we read about you. We've seen the Navy SEALs training. You going to bring any of that to the 40 acres?
I got a feeling we will. We're still in the planning stages, but that SEAL training has been really good for us to help form our team each fall and build a level of camaraderie and teamwork. So, you know, I got a feeling it'll be coming down to Austin.
Sure. You know, so with your work ethic, with what you inherited, a lot of people, I love the way you answered the question, will this havoc style work in a power conference? It's like, it worked pretty good, you know, against Kansas on the road to the Final Four. Are you seeing the personnel? Is it going to work? what you're trying to do with what you're inheriting, especially the bigs?
Well, it's always important to fit what you do around who you have. The one thing that is a little bit misrepresented about the way we played at VCU is that the #1 aspect of our style of play was shooting. It wasn't pressing, it wasn't athleticism, it was having the ability to shoot the ball. When we went to the Final Four in 2011, we made 66 threes, which is still an NCAA record by any team. So, we want to be able to play up-tempo. We want to be able to run the floor with all 5 positions. Certainly with the big players that we have here on the team returning, those are guys that we're going to utilize, that we're going to throw the ball into. We're going to get them doing a lot of good things on the defensive end for us as well as the offensive end. So we're going to fit what we do around who we have. To be honest with you, I'm still getting to know, the makeup of the whole personnel. I have some new guys coming in this summer, so you add some elements to the mix. But I'm excited about that.
For sure. Everybody, when they see that there is talent, they want to just know right off the bat, how far away are you to restoring this program to that loftiest of heights that Rick Barnes took it to? Hey, does it take a while when it's such a mentality? You have to have your guys all in if they're going to play that style. Does it take a while, or is it like, hey, we can do something early?
Well, I think the biggest thing is can you get a group of guys to be connected around a common cause? And, whether you're a coach or a player and you've been a part of those types of teams, you know how it feels. And then you know how it feels when you're not in that type of dynamic. So that's our first goal, is to build connectivity among the people in our program. I've been pleasantly surprised by the way that our guys get along with one another. But what we need to do now is teach them from our side of things as coaches, because there's always different perspectives depending on who the coaches are, what we believe goes into winning. And if they're able to follow the plan of what goes into success, then I think success will follow.
I know you've been hard at work. You already knew Charlie Strong from your time at Florida for a year at least. You doing any 5-mile runs with him in the morning to start your day? What's going on there?
We have not run in the morning. In fact, until this week, I hadn't really worked out much at all because I'd just been working so much. But I promised myself coming into this week that I would get back into the workout phase of things. But Charlie's been great. He's a terrific resource. He's a really good friend. He has an energy about him that is infectious and is special to be around. That's part of why he's a terrific coach. And I'm excited about working with him.
And you guys are your own men, and you've achieved at a high level. You're always going to be grouped, though. You guys, we shouldn't be talking about race in 2015, but the fact that he is the first black football coach at UTU on the basketball side, how important is that to you?
Well, there's a lot of guys that you don't want to be grouped with, but that's someone that you would want to be grouped with. And in terms of being the first black head coaches in our respective sports, I think what that says is, Texas is all about hiring the best person for the job. And I think the other thing it does is, maybe for a young man that's out there that's an aspiring basketball coach or an aspiring football coach at a young age, they can look at Charlie or they can look at myself and say, hey, that's doable. Those guys are doing it and I can do it too.
Yeah. I also like the name Shaka. It's been well documented. It's a powerful name. It means a lot to you. But now you're running into a whole new media circle. All of us wise guys think we're the first to drop these Shaka puns. What's the worst Shaka headline, worst Shaka pun you've heard?
Oh, I got them all when I was a kid. So, there's really nothing that surprises me now that I'm an adult. But I have a really good sense of humor with it. It's fine. In fact, when I was a kid, on one of my sports teams, I forget which one it was, the parents gave me a gift of a T-shirt that had my name spelled properly on the front, and then on the back it had about 18 or 20 different mispronunciations and misspellings. But I like having a unique name.
Cool. So it's all free game then? Anything we come up with?
You go right ahead.
Okay.
I'll let you know if you come up with something unique.
I was going to say, because when somebody drops a Dennis the Menace on me and they think they're the first ones to do it, it gets a little tired. So anyway, I was trying to feel you out on that. Let's take a little peek into your soul here with some little quick fire.
Okay.
You're on the desert island kind of thing. what one movie do you have to have?
One movie. I'd rather have a book, if that's okay.
And that says a lot. See, that's telling.
I think my favorite book is, I have a lot of books I like, but The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And if I could take one more book, it would be The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Okay. See, and just so you know, I mean, you could have gone and played Ivy League. What was it? Yale looking at you, Harvard. You bring a lot of, I guess, the cerebral side to the equation, right?
Well, that's the credit for that goes more to my mother. You know, I think a lot of times your academic accomplishments in a lot of respects are due to the way you've been pushed by your family. And my mom did not have a lot of rules when I was a kid, but one of those rules was you don't bring home a bad grade, and a lot of times to her a bad grade was a B. So she really instilled in us, my brothers and I, a sense that you know, she really wanted us to do well in school.
I like it. Let's get back to the desert island. Musical artist. Who's it going to be? Who's in your ears?
I can only have one?
Just one.
Wow. It depends on the mood, but if I had to pick one right now, I'd say Michael Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, just all over the place. All right, I'll give you two. Who's number two?
Jay-Z.
Okay. So yeah, you strike me as you can go seamlessly for me.
And three would be Bob Marley.
Okay. On a beach, too. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of works, even though it's a desert island. But food. What's the one meal you got to have?
Oh, wow. I try not to eat them too much because they're not the best for you, but pancakes.
Okay. So we'll get you to maybe, well, I don't want to do any advertising for you.
Well, I'm interested in finding, you know, I had Richmond completely scouted out in terms of where the best pancakes were, and I'm looking forward to learning that about Austin.
Okay, your inbox might load up with some ideas after this runs. And just you, what else makes you tick? Because what I'm gathering is you're a workaholic, and this is a new job for you. I can't see you really getting too much out of the UT Golf Club membership that comes with a deal. But what are your hobbies? What do you, if you do have some time?
I just spend time with my daughter and my wife. Those are the things I like to do away from work. Other than that, I don't do much. You know, the job is all encompassing. You know, you can always do more. You can always make another recruiting call. You can always spend more time with your players. So really just my family and my job. I'm really fortunate. Every day I wake up appreciating the fact that I have a profession that doesn't feel like a job. You know, it feels like something that I want to do.
Yeah, and you strike me as highly organized too. How do you do it? Because you're molding young men; those guys become your family. Yet you do want to spend time with the wife and the daughter. Do you have a system? It's like, all right, cut off. Now it's family time. How does it work?
Yeah, that part is we're still working on, and I need to continue to get better at it. You know, my family hasn't been here over the last several weeks. My wife came down a couple times for a few days just to look for houses, but when my daughter and my wife come down, I'm going to have to figure that out because, certainly being around them is part of what makes me me.
Sure. As you've taken this on, a lot comes with this job. Any big surprises, pleasant or unpleasant, right out of the gate for you?
Well, there's always surprises anytime you go to a new situation, and I think the most important thing is to have an open mind when you come to a new place, because you have a familiarity and understanding of the place where you came from, but the new place is going to be different in certain ways. But I really like it here. The people have been terrific. There's so much pride that people around here have in the University of Texas, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
For sure. And then, look, I don't know. I'm almost kind of losing my train of thought with this, but you talked about how you came here for a reason and a purpose, and it's a long-term kind of goal. Do you see this as being, this is the stop? If you have anything to do with it, you're here and you're going to do amazing things, because there are some obvious things you can do at UT that you can't do anywhere else.
Well, I think this is the type of place where you can come and coach and work for a long, long time if you're able to be successful.
Sure.
We all know, what I'm judged upon and what all coaches are judged on. But, to me, it's all about, can you as a coach help to transform the guys that you work with and work around every day? There's certainly in coaching, the judgment that's based on wins and losses. But I really think if we can focus on moving forward the whole person, that's why I coach, that's what I enjoy about it, then I do think the winning will take care of itself.
Shanghai in 6 months. That right off the bat, something like that large scale, that different, that new. Are those kind of possibilities one of the reasons you came to Austin and to UT, because of things that you just can't do anywhere else?
Well, I think it's a phenomenal opportunity, and our guys are excited about getting a chance to see a unique place and go halfway around the world or more than that. And then it just so happens we get to play a really good program from the Pac-12. So we're looking forward to it. Yeah.
Does that light your fire in any way, though, the fact that, hey, I better brush up on some Chinese, that sort of thing? You know the language?
Well, hopefully we'll have some type of interpreter over there, because I don't know much Chinese at all. But, we're just going to go over there and with our eyes and ears wide open so we can learn as much as we can. And then, obviously we want to go over there and win the game.
Sure. You speak the universal language of basketball, right?
Yeah, competition.
That's it. Lastly, we talked about that, you were academically, you were on the ball. If you weren't coaching basketball, what was, because you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, but what was option B for you?
Well, I think I probably would have gone into more advanced postgraduate study, and probably would be some type of professor. Right now. I've always enjoyed learning and teaching and being around an atmosphere of exploration. If I was doing something other than basketball, that's probably what I'd be doing. Yeah,
but I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Oh, and lastly, Tony Romo. I'm looking, he's pumping you up on a radio show the other day, saying that you're the perfect candidate. I know you guys have Wisconsin ties, but you guys tied, or?
Well, there's a backstory behind that. One of my assistant coaches is named Mike Morrell, and he grew up in Elizabethton, Tennessee, with Jason Witten.
Okay.
So he and Jason remained very, very close friends, and it was one of the perks of Mike coming down here is he gets to be close to Jason. And we've gotten a chance to spend some good time with Jason Witten. He came and spoke to our team last year at VCU, and he's really excited about coming down to Austin and seeing some games. But when the Final Four was in Dallas, not this year but the year before, we watched the semifinal games in Jason and Tony's box with them. And tell you what, Tony Romo, obviously everyone knows about what he's done on the football field. He's extremely knowledgeable about basketball. And if you remember, Wisconsin was playing. We're both from Wisconsin, and we're sitting there watching them and just going back and forth, and he really knows the game.
Yeah, that's cool. Thought that was neat. Best of luck, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it.